Welcome into episode 110 of JD's Empire Sports Talk. I'm happy you guys are able to join once again. I'm solo for now. We may have Biggie, we may not later on. He's on some coaching duties right now. So I know before the comments are going to go crazy on him. Biggie, where are you? Actually, he's here. Okay.
Surprise, surprise. April Fools. I'm here for a little bit, but I'm here.
All right. There you go. I was just about to say how you weren't going to be here. Coach Mills in full effect here right now with the windbreaker in the hat, but good.
Track and field coach.
Well, what I was about to say was Biggie wasn't going to be here because he was coaching in the middle of coaching. So I was about to make you like you were Bill Belichick, and now
I'm here. I'm going to be here for a little bit. I do have to go in a little bit, but I'll be.
That's fine. I mean, we'll do whatever we can. But did we do good today? What was the result? Do we have a good?
So, we actually did pretty good because I'm a throwing coach for obviously Pittston area here. We did pretty good. I mean, we have some solid kids that throw. We have two really good javelin throwers, and we got first in shot put. Our kid threw almost 40 feet in the shot put. We got a first place in discus, and then we got first and second in javelin. So we did really good today. Actually, we did
good
really
day.
Good.
So you guys just basically just match up to another school for the day, pretty much, right?
Yeah, that's so track and field. How it works is there's like 40 some events. Yeah. And the combined points for all of them. So at least for throwing, the other ones are a little different, but for throwing, like there's shot put, discus, and javelin. And how it works is the first place is 5 points, a second place is 3, and a third place is 1 point. So we beat them today because we got a first in all three of them, and then we got second in javelin, and I think we got a third in shot put. So
nice.
So we beat them. So we did pretty good today.
Hey, that's all that matters. A win is a win.
My boys and girls did good today.
I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, that's good. I mean, listen, we always talk about the professional sports, but hearing things like that always is very, very beneficial for the show, especially with what's coming up in the summer when we get to that. You guys will know.
Yeah, big announcement coming soon.
Yeah, and then actually 2 big announcements actually coming soon. If you know what I mean, Biggie. One especially, very
one's really big. Yes,
we'll keep that one quiet until the time comes. But since you're here, I think we can switch this around a little bit because I wasn't expecting it. So we can do college basketball and MLB since those are the two kind of hot topics.
We'll do it. Absolutely.
And then when you leave, I can kind of just round out NBA and NHL, I guess, because that's not really, it's kind of hitting the downturn. And then how you doing is gonna be very spicy from me today, at least.
So good real content, huh?
Yeah, I'm a little upset with some of things going on with one particular team when we're supposed to.
I think I know who. I think I kind of know who.
Yeah. There's two, but one especially because we're about to hit the playoffs and we still don't look like we have a clue what's going on. But we'll get to that. But let's start with college basketball. So I know you guys saw the post the other day. Me and Biggie are the only two that still have our champion alive, which Biggie's going to UConn. And when Biggie picked UConn at the time, I liked it. I was like, it's a really good pick because they have a great coach and they have really good talent. Obviously, they just had to get through an extremely tough region, which is what they did. But they did it. That's the point we're trying to make. So we'll get to that in a second. But UConn's going to match up versus Illinois, which is going to be a great. Both of these games are going to be great. But UConn versus Illinois, very, very different styles of play, but they'll match up great. And then I think the heavyweight matchup is Arizona versus Michigan. Just as
God, it's the best game of this might be the best game of the whole tournament.
I was going to say of the year.
UConn game from last week.
Yeah, it might be.
It's going to be fireworks.
It will be. I mean, those two teams have looked the best. They have the best talent, I believe. And Arizona was down to Purdue by a decent amount and just turned it on. And all of a sudden, I look up at the TV. I was like, oh my God, they're up by 20 points in 4 minutes. And it shows. That's when you know, Biggie, how good a team is. When they can just be, they can be back and forth with a team, maybe down 5 points, and then all of a sudden, boom, they get that third gear that other team doesn't have and just turn it on. That's exactly what happened in Arizona.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the UConn in terms of how they got here. So I put they won the game of destiny because that's pretty much what that was, right? Take it away here, because I know you picked UConn, so you probably had a little bit of a closer eye on the game than I did. I mean, I was watching, but I think you had a different kind of interest in it, meaning like, even if, we're no money involved here, but we want to see our team that we picked to win.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, insane, right?
Yeah, that was nuts. I mean, for how much they were down for them to come back like that. And that's the thing. Like, I knew kind of going into that game how Duke has played in recent memory in the tournament.
Not too great in tournament games.
No, they really haven't been. They've always been one of the best teams in the entire all of NCAA Division I basketball the whole year. And we live on TikTok.
Yeah, I'm trying to. Someone asked. I'm going to say someone asked what we're doing here, so that's what that was. We're doing test runs. But yeah, nice. I don't want to cut you off there. I just wanted to say someone wanted to say, "What are we doing? This is what we're doing." If you guys want to watch us live on YouTube, go ahead. But I'm just a little behind the scenes. But yeah, take it away. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, so I kind of knew going into that game, knowing how UConn is, because I said this when I picked it. UConn, in my opinion, has probably been the most consistent program over the last probably 3 or 4 years. I'd say Dan Hurley is arguably a top 3. I'll say it, top 3 coach in all of NCAA right now, I think. And I just couldn't bet against them. And I know how Duke plays, but that was just incredible. I didn't expect. Once Duke got up by that much, I'm like, okay, maybe they are legit this year. But no, UConn, did it. They did it. It was awesome too. It was incredible.
Yeah, it was incredible. And I think like you kind of they were down by 19. I think that was the largest they were down. And then you looked at, okay, they're coming. And then when you look at it, you see the defensive play. So first off, they missed. I don't know if we remember this. We can go through it. They missed 2 free throws. So pretty much before they got the steal, that should have been a tie game because of the missed free throws. But it all worked out. But they got the press going. Hurley was kind of screaming at them to foul. They didn't foul right away, so they didn't listen to him, which kind of made it funny. Right. After the game, he's like, I wanted them to foul right away because I wanted us to get a chance at a 3-pointer and keep playing this game back and forth of fouling, hope they miss and make a shot. And they didn't do it right away, and that kind of worked out for them because Duke passed the ball around, and then Caden Boozer I still don't know what he was doing. He had 2 guys on him, and just why are you throwing it up? Like just hold the ball.
Yeah, they and you know what? Duke could have easily have won that game. They just had to hold on to the ball, and they didn't. I don't know what was going through his mind, but that sold the game right there. They had it. They had the game. Why would you not hold on to it? That's just stupid to me. That cost you right there.
I was very confused just because, he's a really good free throw shooter as well. So he would have probably knocked down both shots. I got to give him credit. I know he's taking a lot of heat, but he's gotten a hell of a lot better. He didn't start the year as the point guard. Then they lose Foster, who came back in that game. Boozer steps in as a starter. He's been great. And that moment kind of taints what a good season he had. But man, you hold on to the ball there. You take your 2 free throws. You're getting double teamed. They're gonna foul you because they have to. Or I played when I only played basketball to the 8th grade, but I was
it's okay.
When you're trying to break a press and you have 2 guys on you, just bounce pass to either side.
Yeah, why would you do that? Why would you just throw it up like that?
He tried to get it over their head. You're not getting that over 2 guys that are definitely taller than him.
You cause a turnover by doing that.
Yeah, it didn't make any sense. That's why I'm happy we're talking about this. I'm glad we are. It was because I'm sitting there. I'm like, I didn't play the highest level of basketball. I'm watching this. I'm like, what is he doing? Just
that's just common sports knowledge. That's common sense.
Yeah, sports. It is. When you're Biggie, you know this. Like when we both play a different sport, but we understand when you're in the moment. You don't. Sometimes it doesn't always sometimes it's too much.
I get it. Absolutely.
Yeah. It could have been that he just got overwhelmed. He is a freshman, to say. I know people don't even consider that anymore, but that is true.
It's still a thing, right? It doesn't matter. It's
in moments like that. In moments like that, I believe it is. And I think that everyone's always obsessed with the great freshman. But sometimes in moments like that, the experience matters, where maybe if that was a senior holding on to the ball there, he probably wouldn't have threw it away. He probably would have just been like, you know what? I know what they're going to do here. They're going to foul me, and I'm just going to – and, I mean, the shot by Mullins from UConn, that was incredible. That's going to go down. I know I always see the TikTok edits of when Villanova won the championship and Chris Jenkins hit that.
This is up there, though.
I was going to say, Biggie, if they win the championship, that's going to be that next edit video that everyone puts out there, right?
Yeah, we'll be seeing that in the next couple of years.
That was incredible. And he was a freshman too, by the way.
Yes.
I was like, damn, I knew when he got the ball, I knew he had to shoot it because it was like 2 seconds left. But I was like, oh my God, he's gonna make this, and boom, went right in, which was funny. We'll get to the other thing that happened during the timeout, which I'm shocked that no one even got in trouble for that. But
I know what you're talking about, though.
Yeah, I was like, what is that? I've never seen that.
It's a meme now.
Yeah. But Illinois is the team that UConn's going to be going up against. And I think Illinois is probably the most slept-on team left. And I'm not sure why. They're also really good. They had a really good year.
Well, they're the lowest seed. They're the lowest seed out of all of these. That's why. Yeah. I mean, that by nature they're going to be, because these are all 4 of these teams are fantastic. Don't get me wrong, but I think they are, just because of their seeding. I don't think it has to do with anything else.
And I'm going to be honest with you too. I feel in basketball, the Big Ten obviously has respect, but it's kind of like, it's the Big Ten. They have good teams, but they'll never win. You know what I'm saying? Like, they'll never win. CT finally got to the comments. Look at that.
There he is.
It took you, oh my God, it took you years, I think, to figure this out, but you got it. We were very happy. Yeah, Taris Reed from UConn was playing like Will Chamberlain, and he has been the whole. He's insane. He's a monster. I mean, the fact it gets me upset because when St. John's played UConn, they held him down every single time, and I wanted to see that matchup for a 4th time. Unfortunately, it didn't happen, but yeah, he's been great. I mean, he had 30 points and 27 rebounds in the first round. It doesn't matter who you play. If you have 27 rebounds in a game, I mean, incredible. Uncle Robert, what's up? Thanks for joining too.
Yeah.
StreamYard's a little different in the comments. It's like the font is a little different now too.
Yeah, they update a lot. You see the logo right here?
Yeah,
it's a lot better. It's less distracting.
It does. It looks a lot better. Yeah, I like it. I like it. Yeah.
What are you talking about, Marty?
Yeah, come on. We both hit it at the same time.
Dude, what do you mean?
Fool's joke. I forgot it was April Fool's. Yeah, he wasn't expecting you on either. As I was doing my intro.
I'm here now. All right.
Yeah, you're here.
Sorry to disappoint.
And then let's move on to the next matchup, which we did preview a little bit already, but we could still talk about it. Arizona versus Michigan, probably the 2 most talented groups in the Final Four, and probably obviously the entire country when we all said and done. And I've been saying this for a while. I really believed Arizona just had the most talent. Talent doesn't always translate. Most talent doesn't always translate to wins. In Arizona, when you're an Arizona team that's that good, I don't think it matters. It's like you just look at them. They can do everything. They can do anything they want, and it doesn't matter. They're just that good. And even with Michigan, man, their big man, I forget exactly who his name is, the center. He had a rough game against Alabama, and he's like their second best, third best player. And they're like, you know what? You're not having a good game tonight. It's okay. Like, imagine being a team that good. Imagine being a team that good, Biggie, when you're like, our second or third best player doesn't have to be even remotely close to being tonight for them to be a good team. I mean, that's incredible, right? That's absolutely incredible. Yeah,
and you know what, JD? I have to say this. I obviously have UConn winning, but I think Michigan's going to win the whole thing. They're too good. They are. My God. You look at all they've put up. They haven't had a game where they scored under 90 points.
I know.
And you look at how many points they've held the other teams to.
It's a joke.
It's unbelievable. I mean, they're so good. I think this game's going to be a fireworks. This is going to be an incredible game. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I think what we're going to do is, I don't want to spoil it yet either, but we're going to pick the Final Four games. And then I think what we're going to do next week, just because we have a lot coming up in the future, we may do a shortened episode next week where we can pregame the national championship. And then kind of roll into our week after that. Also,
good.
The fans, I don't know if he's watching tonight, but my buddy Aiden Cassidy is going for his first UFC type match coming up soon. So we want to have him on the show as well.
Yeah, give a little shout out.
Yeah, his first. We're going to have him on the show either next week or the week after. We kind of have to figure that out. Yeah, Chris Webber might call another timeout for Michigan. I still can't believe he did. They just need to hope that he's not even remotely near that team for them to win. That's a good one, Marty. We like that one. But Biggie, actually staying with Michigan, I know how you said you love them and they have a great team, but Elliot Cadeau, one of their key members, probably, like I said, their top 3 players are interchangeable. They're all really good. From their travel or something, they said he had an allergic reaction to something and he's very sick right now. So they have to hope that hopefully he has 2 days, Thursday, Friday to rest, and hopefully he's good for Saturday. I saw that right before. I was like, oh, that's something to note because he's their point guard. He's there, he gets their thing going there. And if he's not available, that changes a lot, especially against Arizona. So we have to keep an eye on that. And speaking of Dan Hurley, I know Marty I think Hurley pulls out another championship. I mean, unless he does what he did the other night. Biggie, did you see this? So they hit the 3-pointer. They have 0.4 seconds left. Dan Hurley decides to, headbutt the referee and go in his face like he's gonna do something to him. I was very confused by that. And then they ask him what was that all about? He goes, "Oh, I thought the ref wanted to chest bump with me." Like, can you tell me?
I didn't see that. I just saw the clip.
That today.
That's what he said.
Today. That was his response to what happened there. I thought he
wanted a chest bump. Yeah. Okay.
What, Biggie? Can you tell me how he gets away with these things? He's like the only
because he's dead early. I guess.
It is something else. It is truly something else. The things that he does and he gets away with. Yeah, he does get his fair share of technical fouls and stuff about that. Yeah, I know the ref said he didn't have it. I don't understand. I mean,
kind of odd if you ask me.
If Rick Pitino did that, he probably would have been like thrown out of college basketball. I mean,
yeah, right? Well, yeah, because it's Rick Pitino. Yeah, because
I mean, he does everything wrong to their.
Of course, yeah. Even though he's one of the best coaches of all time.
I'm like, you're up by 1 point with under a second left to go, and you're headbutting a referee, and yeah, it's okay. It's part of the game. I'm like, okay, I never heard of that, but I wanted to bring that up because I thought it was funny. He's like,
I didn't even know that's what he said. I just saw the clip.
I was like, this guy is out of his mind. He is out of his mind.
FRIG, frig.
I mean, I like Marty said there. I mean, I don't want to pick them just because of who I picked to win, but I actually think UConn, they may not have the most talent of the group left, but they do have probably the best coach, and he is very. Yeah, it pains me to say it every time they do.
Being a good coach, that's what I said.
Yeah, he is a great coach. He won 2 championships already, so that's all you need to know. And it pains me to say it because of who I root for, but it's the truth. You have to admit it. He's absolutely incredible. Dan Hurley. And then the last bit of news is Will Wade is back to LSU. So he coached LSU, went 105-51. They had other issues go on there, so they let go of him. He rebuilt himself, McNeese State and then NC State, and now he's back at LSU because LSU's been, really bad. And then, well, I always think of LSU, and I always think of Ben Simmons when he played that 1 year and had like a 0.5 GPA, but it didn't matter. I believe he was the coach, so it's kind of funny to me that Ben Simmons was there and stuff like that. But Will Wade back in LSU, see if he can avoid or not be a part of the other things that went on with that school. And then let's do MLB because I know baseball has been obviously tomorrow. Actually, tonight is a weekend just because the Yankees started off the season. But some little bits of news, and then we'll check in. Not really a standings update, more of a team check, just because it's only 5 or 6 games. It doesn't really matter. But big news is Sandy Alcantara throws a complete game today. I don't care who you're pitching against. If you're throwing a complete game in April 1st,
that's incredible. That's incredible. Season started less than a week ago or a week ago today.
This is his second start already, so it's not
right.
I mean, the fact that he only started 2 games and threw a complete game, incredible by him. And they always say the second year off Tommy John is usually the year that you bounce back, and that's exactly what Alcantara did there. I mean, he was okay last year, but he's going to be prime trade bait at the deadline. Whatever playoff team, mark my words, him and Skubal, whatever playoff teams are in contention and need a pitcher, Skubal's going to one place and Alcantara's going to the other place just because the Tigers can't pay Skubal.
Yeah, that's what sucks about the Tigers because they're
good.
They are fantastic, and we obviously know how good Skubal is, but they just don't have the money. They haven't been in this position really ever. Have the Tigers ever been in this type of position ever as a franchise?
Not within at
least the last 20 years? 15 years?
I would say more 10, 15, just because early
2000s. They had some good years, right? Yeah.
Verlander, Serger, when they were younger, they had Rick Porcello and that whole pitching staff. But I know exactly what you mean.
But they were never a franchise that had money. You know what I mean? They were never a franchise that had that type of, thing. So it sucks, but they're probably not going to be able to get Skubal what he wants because he's a top pitcher in the league.
That's the thing there. Like you're not going to be able to give him whatever he's going to get paid most ever.
He's going to get paid by someone.
Exactly. And at some point you got to be like, we can't get him back. We might as well trade him because we have to get something there. They will get a decent amount back regardless.
Yeah, because he's high value, very high value.
I mean, he is incredible too. He's the best lefty pitcher in the game. I would put obviously Skeens first, and then him second.
Course, yeah. Skeens is the best. Yeah,
right. And Skubal is the best lefty in the game, so he's going to be coveted by everyone, and he won't be paid, which is unfortunate. Then we have other MLB news where Connor Griffin. So he didn't make the opening day roster for the Pirates, but it's kind of funny because he hasn't even played an MLB game yet. and he is negotiating an extension with the Pirates, which shows how much they believe in him. A
Yeah.
19-year-old who is yet to play, get one at bat in the big leagues is getting extended. And Biggie, we talked about this. Was this last week or the week before? We were saying
so. Yeah, I was comparing it. I was comparing the development of baseball players as opposed to college football and NFL players.
Yeah, that was last week, right? And we were saying how these teams are investing in these guys younger than ever because they believe in what they can do, and not maybe right now, but maybe 5 years down the road. So
you don't see that really in any other sport.
Yeah, you really don't, and that's the beauty of baseball. A 19-year-old, Jake Jones, perfect timing there. Connor Griffin talk. Yeah, I know you want him up, so he's gonna come up soon. He'll be up very soon, I think. And that seems like the Pirates so far. Yeah, they won a couple of games in a row, and you think they're going to?
Come on,
they had a good day today. Skeen's bouncing back was huge because he looked.
Oh yeah, they need that because he pitched. He gave up as many strikeouts. Gave up. What am I saying? He had as many strikeouts for 5 innings today as runs that he gave up in the first inning last time.
Yeah, he did. That was a rough.
Before I leave, I gotta go. But CT, I fully agree with you. The Yankees offense, their lineup is sluggish right now, but our pitching staff is arguably top 3 in the league. Thank you.
One more thing.
Yes,
the final 4 picks. UConn versus Illinois. Who do you got?
UConn and Michigan.
And then, okay, UConn and Michigan, and then we'll save the championship pick for next week when we get to that. All right, Biggie, thanks. See ya. All right, Biggie is gone. He came in quickly. Wasn't expecting it. He told me he wasn't going to be able to come in at all, and now he is here, which was great. But now he's gone, so we'll move on with that. So let's go to the Royals. So Carlos Estevez, whatever you want to call him, placed on the IL with a foot injury. He pitched the other day. I believe it was against the Braves, and he looked awful. He was terrible. And, now he's on the IL. Usually when good pitchers don't look great, there's something off, and that's exactly what that was. And I'm not going to do a standings update, more of like what I believe, some teams are not even going to talk about if they're just completely, terrible. It depends who it is, but just not really a standings update, more of just a check-in for the teams. And I'll just do the Mets when we get to it, just because I don't want to keep you guys waiting on that. How you doing? Like I said, we kind of do it whenever. But let's actually start with CT's Yankees. Pitching staff has been really, really good. They're 5-1, right? 5-1 so far. That's what it says here. They've looked really good. Cam Schlittler, man, if he can pitch like that, the Yankees actually might win the World Series. And I'm not lying either. If you get Max Fried pitching like that, Garrett Cole to come back to be, he doesn't even have to be himself. He can just be really good, and that'll be enough for them. Cam Schlittler pitching like that. You have a 3-man rotation like that, and then you have Rodon as your fourth, which, on a really good team, he's much better than a fourth. The Yankees are scary, man. If they can get that hitting to just, come along as they need to. And the bullpen, I think, is a little shaky for them. I don't think they have as much depth, I should say, as they have had. When you look at their bullpens for the past few years, they've been, they can throw anybody out there and it won't matter. I don't think that's the case this year. I kind of feel like they're lacking just a little bit, but they're still a really good team. And then the team behind them, the Blue Jays. Blue Jays are expected to win the AL East. I predicted them to do it. I know a lot of people predicted them to do it. Not a good showing this series against the Rockies. I believe they lost 2 out of 3, which is, you can't be doing that against a Colorado Rockies team that's obviously not interested in winning. They never are interested in winning, but they lost 2-1 today. I know that the offense kind of stalled out a little bit. Yeah, and they lost Monday, so they did lose 2 out of 3, and then they swept the A's. So haven't had a crazy schedule so far, but 4-2, good for them, but they could be a little better than what they are. Then we got the Orioles at 3-3. I think they're going to be what they are right now. Their outfield defense is atrocious, by the way. I've watched a few highlights on the Orioles defense. Not a good defensive team, but the offense should hit. Pitching, it depends what they get. That's going to be the key for them. Can they get, above average pitching? If they get above average pitching, their offense is going to do just enough. They're going to win games. Then the Rays are 2-4. I was saying last week with them, I predicted them to finish last. Their offense isn't great. Their pitching is okay. They have very young pitchers, so it's not going to be something where you look at this team right now. They could be a few years away, but it's not going to be one of those years when you look at the Rays, be like, what the hell? This team has 90 wins. That's not going to be the case this year. Then the Red Sox, one of the biggest disappointments of the first week of the season, 1-5, Pitching has been, atrocious. Offense is not clicking at all. And the Red Sox, Red Sox fans are similar to Yankee fans, Met fans, like those type of fans where, that team doesn't start out fast. Those teams and fans will just like that be like, okay, this team sucks. I'm not going to invest in them, which, it's the first week of the season. I understand things happen, but you got to pick it up if you're the Red Sox. You got a really good team. Like, you have a talented team there. You got to be able to put it together. And, I saw today Alex Cora benching Narvaez as the catcher already. Like, how are you having discipline issues a week into the season? I mean, come on. You're on your first road trip of the year and someone's doing something stupid. Like, these things got to be tightened up and you got to be locked in. This is the regular season. You can't be messing around like it's spring training, and you can get away with it a little bit. Not now. Like, this is when it matters. And, a 1-5 start for the Red Sox kind of shows. Then the Central, this division is always a joke. We always say it's a joke, but I actually think this year it won't be. Throughout the first week, though, Guardians in first place at 3-3. They always do their thing, man. They always have great pitching, and they just find a way to win. That's what the thing with the Guardians. Doesn't matter who their coach is, from Terry Francona when he was there to Stephen Vogt. They know how to coach, they know how to play defense, and they know how to pitch, and that's what they've done so far. Kansas City Royals at 2-2, but there's also games going on now. I like the Royals pitching staff this year. I think Cole Reagans is going to be great. He's going to lead the way for them. I know Bubic is there. They have good pitchers. Seth Lugo, Michael Wacha. They have good arms there. And the lineup, if they could just give Jack Caglione consistent playing time, he can hit a lefty. I don't know what the back and forth of we have to sit a guy, we have to leave it. You gotta just go. You gotta let this kid play. He knows how to play. He can hit, and just find a spot for him. I know that the positional versatility is limited a little bit just because of who they have at the corner positions and stuff like that. But he can play. Just put him in the lineup, he'll hit. Then Detroit starts out 2-4. Skubal's pitched really well in his first two starts. Valdez looked good. Dale Bats will wake up. McCongle, really, really nice start for him, especially in that first series against the Padres. Then the Twins, who I have no faith in, they're 1-3. I wouldn't expect them to be anything. And the White Sox as well, 1-5. They have a lot of players. I didn't realize this until I started watching. They have a lot of players who aren't really household names. I know they normally don't anyway, but today especially, I was looking at their lineup. I'm like, I don't even know any of these guys, which is, the White Sox, they're slowly going to get there eventually, but not yet. And in the West, the Astros, who I kind of counted out a little bit, had a great first week at 5-2. Played extremely well against the Red Sox, who I thought that would be a competitive series, and that went out the window. Astros, I think, swept them. If I forgive me if I'm wrong there, but I believe, let me check that. Yeah, swept them, 3-game sweep with them. The Astros started at 0-2. Now they've won 5 in a row. Lost the first 2 to the Angels, split, and now have swept the Red Sox. Rangers at 4-2. Brandon Nimmo trade's looking fantastic for them right now. He's been great at the top of the order. Nimmo's always, he's always going to get on base. Whatever they want to say, what happened in the clubhouse, I still really don't believe it was him. Deep down, I don't believe it was him. There's no way a guy that's that, happy and good with his teammates on the field is not like that in the locker room. I think that's very if someone's that, different, that's insane to believe that. From on the field and off the field. I don't believe that. Maybe he didn't get along with particular guys on the team, but I don't think that he's going to act like that and then all of a sudden act differently. And he's played well for the Rangers. Rangers got, good pitching. The DeGrom, thankfully, I'm always going to be a DeGrom guy. Thankfully, he didn't, suffer something major. It was just a little bit of a neck tightness, and he pitched maybe a day or two later than what he was supposed to. Then the Angels, 3-4. The Angels, man, Mike Trout, he actually looks like he's back playing the outfield, hitting. He was hitting some bombs against the Astros over the weekend. Mariners at 3-4. They're good. I think they're going to be just fine. Mariners are good. I think so too, man. I think the only way the Mariners screw it up is if their pitching just kind of falters really bad. I think that their pitching is that good where it could just carry them, through. I really do. I really think they can get to the World Series with the type of pitching they had. And then the A's, 1-5. I don't even know what you call them. The Vegas A's at this point. I think they're going to be okay too. The lineup is good. The pitching is it's okay. And I think that it depends on who they play. They're probably going to beat the bad teams, and then they probably won't beat the good teams. They'll kind of be a mid-tier team. Then we got in the NL East. Let's switch over to the National League, where we have the Marlins at 5-1. Miami Marlins at 5-1. Last year, they ended the season very, very well, and they're picking up to where they left off, man. They they're a little scary just because they play with that hunger. Like they want to, they don't have the most talented guys. They have very, very young guys. It's not like they're in, it's not like they're trying to go out there and get, the high-end talent, because obviously they're not. But when they have a young end team like they do, they play hard and they go for it. And their pitching staff, even with the trade of Edward Cabrera, the Sandy Alcantara pitching the way he is, Yuri Perez, they got guys, man. They have very, very talented guys. Then the Braves, who I predicted to win the NL East, which people called me crazy for doing that, but I believed it was true. Braves in 4-2 in second place. I think that Chris Sale, they don't even have Strider yet. Chris Sale can pitch the way he has. That just fall. Everyone else falls in line after that. Ronaldo Lopez back healthy, which I think is something that they haven't had in a very long time, which only helps their case. Then let's go to the Mets. So Mets are 3-3. Oh man, this team is head scratching. They're doing what they did last year again. The lack of hitting with runners in scoring position. I know it's only 6 games, but when you make major moves like you did, you need to have instant results, which is the way it is. It's just the fans are expecting it. Front office is expecting it. As much as they may say, yeah, it's okay, they're expecting, changes to happen right away, and it's not happening really right now. The pitching has been good. I mean, I can't complain about the pitching, except one guy, which I don't know how he's still employed on this team, but we'll get to him in a second. But the first game of the season, they look great. Had some help by, some miscues on defense and stuff like that. Pirates kind of didn't help their case there. Scored 11 runs. Then after that, the weather changes on Saturday, and I think the Mets left their bats in the warm weather because they have not hit since Saturday. They did win Saturday, but it was, a struggle. Sunday lost, didn't score many runs. Monday they won, scored 4 runs. Yesterday got shut out, and today, it was such a painful game to watch just because you knew that game was there to win. Have to win that game. If you're serious about winning baseball games and being a postseason team, have to beat the Cardinals 2 out of 3. You already screwed up yesterday. You already lost yesterday's game. Probably should have been a sweep because the Cardinals may be up there with the Rockies this year as the worst team in the National League. All right, you lose yesterday. You put that behind you. Have to win 2 out of 3, and you don't win 2 out of 3, and you lose, and it's embarrassing. 11-inning game, you lose 2-1 with numerous chance after chance after chance after chance. You blow it. Lindor, man, like I don't understand. I really don't understand why it takes him so long to get going. I mean, what do you do I know this year was a little different for him with the spring training, but what do you do spring training for if you can't hit until May? I don't understand. And today, really, it kind of rubbed me the wrong way, the way he played, just because, you're supposed to be a leader of this team. You're always the most vocal. You always want to be the most vocal. The reason why guys aren't on this team, I think it's because of you. And then you go out there, the first inning of the game, guy on first with 1 out, bottom of the first. How do you not know how many outs there are? A ball hit right to you. Step on the base, you throw to first, and it's a double play. Freddie Peralta, starts that first inning off in a groove, and he's out, and he's good to go. Because, the thing with aces are, they're going to be good. They're vulnerable in the beginning of the game just because they're trying to get going. And once they get past that maybe second inning, they're good. They can cruise. And that first inning, that kind of made him throw a few more pitches, and maybe that cost him in the 6th inning when they took him out early, and then Brazoban gives up a hit to tie the game. So it's not just because of what happens in the moment. But Lindor, that ground ball's hit right to you. Taylor-made double play. You don't know how many outs there are, so you just step on second and think the inning's over, when clearly it's not. So that's unfortunate for you. Then you go on, and then and then you get on base or whatever. I think you walked or reached on an error, whatever it was. Then he gets picked off. And the best part was Soto hits a home run a couple of pitches later. So that could have been 2 runs. You could have had that extra run in your back pocket, and maybe you could have won the game in the 9th inning. Maybe it's a 2-1 game. Devin Williams comes in and closes it out. So I'm not going to pinpoint saying one guy lost the game today because they didn't hit, obviously, and they didn't, some other things there. Base running has been terrible. I know Anton Richardson was the base running whisperer, and now he's gone. He's with the Braves, and the base stealing hasn't been the same so far to start the year. But I mean, come on, man. I don't understand. Like, why are you so mentally checked out? This early in the year, you're doing stupid things like that, not knowing how many outs there are, getting picked off for first base when your best hitter is up at the plate. Like, why are you even risking it? Don't even barely get off the base. Soto hits a home run after you get picked off, cost us a run there. And, this is the way the game went, you lost. And now they're going to San Francisco. So it doesn't get any easier. I know the Giants aren't the best team, but it's still a time zone difference, on the road for another 4 days before you get home. Like, this is a thing that it can snowball, and they got to get this right. And the one thing I should say with the pitchers, the starters, You can't be afraid to let them go. Can't be afraid to let these guys go. They got if Senga looked like Senga last night, 6 innings, that was perfect. That's what he had enough for 6 innings. I think Freddie Peralta should have stayed in the game today, especially with him being your ace. You have to let him go. Got to let him, even if he gets that 100 pitch mark, he's not pit. He has an extra day off. And that's a good point, Marty. Does Mendoza not know that Peralta has an extra day going into next week because he's not pitching on Monday? It would be Tuesday instead. Maybe you can let him go an extra 5 to 8 pitches. It wasn't cold out today. I mean, I like Mendoza, but he does these stupid things sometimes, and he has been doing it since last year. Like last night, you're losing 2-0. Why are you putting Dick Lovelady in the game? I don't understand that. And then you're rolling him out there for a second inning. I know he didn't give up any runs in the second inning, but these are the things. You can't be punting games in the 5th game of the season. Like I don't really understand that. Jared Young starting at first base 2 games in a row, and you have Brett Beatty, Mark Vientos, and Jorge Polanco. I know maybe Polanco can't play the field right now, but you have Mark Vientos and Brett Beatty. This is your chance when you give Vientos. Give him burn, man. If he can't get it done now, then you cut ties with him. You get rid of him. But you can't be Jared Young getting more reps than Mark Vientos. Jared Young shouldn't even be on this team. I don't even know why he's here. I really don't. And Beatty should be out there every day. The last 2 games didn't start. Like, I don't understand what that's all about. And it's head scratching because I don't know how Mendoza looks so good. He looks so good. He looked competent in that playoff run. I know the players got together and they really became a team. But Mendoza was a part of that because of the pitching changes he was making, the lineups he was making. Then since last year, I don't know what's happened to him, and he just has not been ever since that June. They're 3-3 right now, but it just looked like what it's looked like last year. End of the year of last year, it's looked like that so far. Hopefully, Bo Bichette can get going because I know Soto and Lindor. Lindor hasn't been hitting, but he's been walking a lot. I believe he has like 7 walks already in like 6 games. So he's getting on base other ways besides today. I don't count today. But the other games, he was getting on base. So, Soto's going to do his thing. Like, Bichette has to get up there, and he has to swing the bat. And yeah, Marty, I mean, if this team is not playing well by May, Mendoza might be gone. There's a reason why you get rid of an entire coaching staff. It means you don't believe in the guy that's in charge, and you're looking for someone to replace him within potentially during the season. Like, we're not dumb. These Met fans are not stupid. They know what's going on here, and you gotta be better with those things. The fundamentals, if you're not fundamentally sound, you see it at any levels. You're never gonna win games, and that's why they lost today. Lack of stupid base running, not taking the extra base when you should. They're not knowing how many outs there are. Then you got the ball hung up in the air for hours, and no one's running for it. I mean, I love what Carson Bench has shown so far in terms of his energy, but like that ball's up there. There's 2 outs. I know you dove and you almost caught it. But you got to be able to get out there quickly, man. You got to run. You got to be on your high horse to try to get that thing. That's the game-winning play right in front of you. And no one's helping him. Maybe he couldn't see right away. Someone's got to be yelling. It's to the left and in, to the left and in. You got to be yelling that out. You got to be able to communicate. And those are the things like you said, coaching comes from that. But these guys are also grown men in the big leagues. Like you got to know this stuff on your own. And I don't think that with Lindor, that shouldn't be Mendoza's fault. That I can say that's not Mendoza's fault. That's Lindor's fault. Not knowing the outs, not knowing getting picked off. When your best hitter's up and the only guy that's really hitting right now, doing anything really. Can happen. Just wanted to bring that up. And then we get the Phillies in 4th place. Phillies have kind of been similar to what the Mets have done so far. They did beat the Nationals the last 2 games to kind of salvage a really, bad homestand. I mean, they Phillies have looked just as bad as the Mets have. They won 3 games, but they haven't looked great. I know they were getting booed early on. I mean, their whole team was getting booed, which is shocking to me. And we'll see what happens with the Phillies. But Painter looked good yesterday. He kind of settled things down for them to get them back. And then Sanchez started today. They were losing, but they did come back and win that game. So they did win the last 2 of the series. But both of those teams haven't looked great. And then the Nationals kind of shocked me so far at the 3-3 just because they're swinging the bat so well. And, they're 3-3 as well. But it's just a weekend. But things, things that you lack and you're kind of lazy about, those things kind of stick with you. If you're going to continue to be lazy about it, eventually they're just gonna keep going on you, and that's it. And it's never gonna get better. Then the NL Central, we got the Brewers at 5-1. Brewers, man, it doesn't matter who they have, they just figure it out, and that's exactly what they've done again. Then the Cardinals 4-2, like I just talked about, they beat the Mets 2 out of 3, and they beat the Rays 2 out of 3 as well. with that. Then the Cubs are at 3-3. I think they're going to be fine. They haven't played good baseball at all. The bats have kind of woke up when they're losing already, which is you're never going to win like that. Reds are at 3-3. I think the Reds are going to be good as well. Their pitcher Chase Burns look really good. Happy to see Chase Burns back in the rotation too. I think that's what the one thing that people are hoping that he can really be a good starter, because when he's unhittable, and he looked great the other day, which is good for them. And then the Pirates, good to see Skeens back on the bump today and pitching well, because that was not a good performance from him last week. O'Neal Cruz bat is there. His defense still is non-existent. But maybe they have to find a different position for him. I would say try third base. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? He has a great arm. Maybe he needs to play a position where he doesn't have to think. Because when he used to play shortstop, he used to make the plays, but he would throw the ball away because he's thinking about it. You field the ball, you maybe hit the glove a couple of times and you throw. That's a mental thing. And then in the outfield, he looks lost because he's not experienced out there, one. And you have to think about it. The ball's hit up in the air. How am I getting to the spot without looking down and losing the ball up in the air? Like, those are all things you're thinking about. Maybe stick him at third base. I'm sure you can't play first because that's probably too much. I have to get to the base. I have to, make sure I'm not stepping early where the ball might go over my head or I drop it. Like, those are things he has to think about. Maybe you just stick him at third base and give him I think he could play well there. Just got to give him the reps. We see a lot of former shortstops play well at third base. He can't really play anywhere else. Can't play second base. He's too big. Obviously not catcher. Outfield just not working in general. So why not? Why not try him at third base and see see what happens there, and just move guys around, because he can hit. If he's really locked in, he can hit. And then in the NL West, Dodgers at 4-1. I mean, did we expect anything less? I'm shocked they even lost the game so far. Diaz, I think, that's 3 saves already. Ohtani last night, filthy. I mean, it's insane. It doesn't matter who they roll out there. It does not matter who they roll out there. They're just incredible at how good they are. It doesn't stop with the way Ohtani pitches. His bat hasn't even woken up yet, and he's been great on the mound. Then the Diamondbacks at 3-3. Nice win by them today. They didn't hit Skubal, but Zach Gallen was just as good. I think Gallen threw well against the Dodgers last week as well. I know I'm in fantasy baseball, and I drafted Gallen. I was high on him. I know he didn't have a great year last year, but I thought Gallen would be able to bounce back. And he did. He did so far. 2 starts. I think the first one against the Dodgers is just the Dodgers, and it's your first start of the year. But he pitched really well today. Good to see that from him. And then we got the Rockies in third place at 2-4. Bats have been okay for them, but I wouldn't expect them to be, anything really serious. Come on, it's the Rockies. And then we got the Padres at 2-4. Still have, the Craig Stammen era just beginning. I think it's going to take them some time to get used to a new voice there. I think it's only going to be for the better, just because this guy played. He understands the game, which is the big thing. You had Mike Schilt there. Never played before, and he's coaching, superstars. That doesn't really always work. I think Craig Stammen, a reliever, a veteran of the game, I think he's going to help them. It's just going to take a little bit of time and just getting used to that. Then we got the Giants in last place. That's another one. Seems like Tony Vitello is kind of took his college approach of thinking every game's the end of the world, which I think that's the one thing that college coaches kind of, a little bit too, they overreact, I think, a little bit. I think that's what college coaches do. And I think Vitello took that to the Giants so far, kind of talking about how it's, we got to, get this together. He has his 3rd different lineup already in 6 games. In the MLB, you kind of let these things play out for a little bit and see how it goes. It's like guys get comfortable. He hasn't really let that happen, which I don't know how that's going in the locker room, but at least he got some wins under his belt, which is a big thing. You're doing this and you're not winning. That only makes it worse, but I think he just needs to be calm. So it's okay. Yeah, I mean, CT, the thing is, though, they hope Skeens does that, but also Skeens doesn't pitch every game. There's going to be guys like Brad Keller. Brad Keller, really good pitcher. But Mitch Keller, I'm sorry. Brad Keller's on the Phillies. Mitch Keller, really good pitcher, but he's a contact first. So O'Neal Cruz is going to have to make plays, when Keller's on the mound. And if this guy can't play the outfield, he has a great arm, but his IQ is probably 0, maybe a little above 0. I mean, the guy took the ball against the Mets, didn't even hit the cutoff, just threw it straight through. Which, you learn that. CT, that you were an outfielder. You don't just throw the ball over a cutoff's head when there's a guy running from first. If there's a guy running to third, he's at third already. Hit the cutoff, because that guy from first is going to go to second. I mean, it's simple baseball. And O'Neal Cruz doesn't seem to understand how to play the outfield, which, I mean, they're making excuses for him, which I've seen already. Didn't have the sunglasses on the one day, this and that. But at some point, you gotta be okay. You know what? It's not going to work in the outfield. Try him somewhere else. I think it'll work if you try him somewhere else. over the course of the year. Just try different things, see what happens. I know we did college basketball already. We just did MLB. How you doing? And we're just gonna sprinkle around like usual, and then I'll give my picks at the end. Biggie already gave his, but I can reread it when we get to it. Then with the NBA, about 6 to 8 games left in that range, depending on the team left in the regular season. So regular season should be over next weekend, and then the playoffs. Playing starts immediately, I think a day or two, and then the first round would start kind of the weekend after that. And then other NBA news, I should say, Luka hit 600 points in the month of March. So the Lakers have been so good, and he has been a huge part of it. I mean, when you score 600 points in a month, I mean, that's incredible. And I'm happy for Luka just because he's in good shape, man. He really figured out what he needed to do, and he did it, which is important. Sometimes guys get out of shape, and they kind of just don't believe in themselves anymore, and they kind of just be like, you know what? I mean, he was good regardless. It didn't really matter if he was in shape or not. But now that he's in shape, it's only helped him, which is very, very nice. Let's do the NBA standings as well. We can go to the West first. I have to take care of it all tonight. That he's not here, but let's go to the West where Biggie's not here. West, Oklahoma City, 60-16. So first team to hit 60 wins, rightfully so. I mean, this team is incredible. Every single night they just play well. 32-6 at home. So if you get this team in the postseason on the road, like you're going to OKC. Chalk it up as a loss. But let's put it that way. Chalk it up as a loss. That's just the way I'm going to put it. Then we got the Spurs at 57-18. They're 2.5 out of the first seed. So like I said, every day, every week, we say the Thunder are there. Obviously, they're great, but the Spurs are not quitting, and you never know what can happen. I doubt at this point there's not that many games left, and it seems like the Thunder are making sure they win these so they don't lose number one seed because – like we talked about, Spurs are the only team that's beat the Thunder a good amount of times. And if you lose that number one seed, that's the game maybe you play each other in the Western Conference Finals that you don't have the last game at home, which is important. Then we got the Lakers as the third seed. They seem like they're settling in there at the third seed, which is kind of crazy based off of what I said about them a couple of weeks ago. I talked so much smack on the Lakers. I was like, they're going to be a first-round exit. I don't know anymore. They're playing really good basketball. They're at 50 wins now, too, which I don't think we expected. They've been on a real hot streak. Then we got the Nuggets who clinched a playoff spot already, which I don't – that may be a mistake because the first 3 teams didn't clinch. Oh, they did clinch. I'm sorry. Denver does, though, 48-28. They're 2 games back from the Lakers. They have some separation from the 5th seed, so it seems like Denver – right now, when we go through these standings, probably what it's going to be next week and going into the playoffs. Then we got the Timberwolves without Edwards right now, so it's kind of tough for them, but they're 46-29. They're holding serve. And then the Rockets at 46-29 as well. If I had to guess, the Rockets will step over the Timberwolves just because Ant-Man's not available. And then the Rockets are just – the Rockets seems like, they're turning it on when it matters. And then it seems like Anthony Edwards will come back soon. I don't know how soon that'll be, but it seems like it'll be soon. And they don't have Jaden McDaniels either. Jaden McDaniels is a very underrated player. But it seems like I think that the Rockets step over the Timberwolves. Then you can set up the Lakers versus Timberwolves matchup and then the Denver Nuggets versus Houston matchup, which is incredible, at that point. And then the Suns are your 7th seed. Probably going to be the 7th seed. Let's see what happens with the play-in, but the Suns obviously will be in the play-in. And then the Clippers as your 8th seed, 39-37. I wouldn't be shocked if they get a hold of the 7th seed just because Kawhi and the veteran leadership they got there. Then we got the Trailblazers as your 9th seed, 39-38. So they're half a game back. They've been on some run, man. Like I said, I give them credit every week, but they've been really playing well lately. Warriors falling apart, but they're just so mid, and the teams behind them are so bad that it doesn't matter. Warriors at 36-39. The next team, the Grizzlies, at 25-50. That just shows how far behind they are. Matty V, what's going on? CT, let me tell you, man. I talk so much smack on the Lakers. They made me eat my words. So I actually have to say, I don't know how far they're going to go, but I actually think they do win the first round. I said they didn't. I said they weren't a month ago. And after I said that, they went on a winning streak like no other. So I guess I should be quiet now about the Lakers. And then we got the Grizzlies, 25-50. They're way out. So the Warriors are in the play-in. They clinched the play-in spot. Then the Pelicans, 25 and 51, Mavericks 24 and 52, Jazz 21 and 55, and the Kings 19 and 57. Let's go to the East, where we got the Pistons at 55 and 21. So the Pistons taking away the number 1 seed, probably going to get it just because there's not a lot of time left. So, but even without Cade Cunningham, they played really, really well lately. It doesn't matter really who's been there for them. They just step up. I don't know if that's going to happen. Biggie was on before. You missed him. He was coaching tonight. I'm sure he had something else. He said he had something else to do after that. So, but he was on for the first 30 minutes or so. Pistons, I don't know if this is going to translate to the postseason, though. No Cade Cunningham in the playoffs. That's a little tough just because you're going to face the same team. Right now, they can get away with not having him because you're facing a different team and, different heroes step up. But when you have a same team, same scouting report every night, and this series can keep getting deeper and deeper, it's going to be tough if you don't have that main lead dog, and Cade Cunningham is that. So they may win. I think they'll get away with it in the first round, depending on who they play in the second round, which right now looks like some team that I wasn't expecting. Depends on who they play in the second round. That could be a difference for them if they don't have Cade around them. And I know I'm not big in. I don't really talk about much betting on the show as of now, but I keep looking at that in terms of who they think is going to win the Eastern Conference, and the Pistons are 4th best record in the Eastern Conference, and their 4th best odds. That, to me, shows that they don't believe, and obviously Vegas knows, that Cunningham's coming back. And that's how you kind of have to go off based off of, I believe. I think Cunningham is not going to come back unless they go deep, like into the postseason. I don't think he's going to be back for the first or second round, which is unfortunate for them, but it is the reality of it. Then we got the Celtics, finally got to 50 wins. In a rebuild year, they got to 50 wins. Go figure. 50 and 25. Tatum and Brown have looked good together. Jaylen Brown's been banged up a little bit, but I think they're kind of just maintenancing guys to get ready for the playoffs. Right now, the Knicks are the 3rd seed. Don't know how long that's going to last. They're 48 and 28. I am not happy with the Knicks right now. I was actually going to I'm going to actually do this in the future. But on TikTok, I was playing around with some editing tools, and I'm going to be doing some more videos of that, which is going to be very, very fun soon. But I'm not sure what the hell's going on here. Let me fix that quickly. I'm sorry, guys. I'm doing a TikTok live for the other viewers if they want to see the background of what goes on for the show as I'm doing it on YouTube. But like I was just saying, the Knicks don't seem very inspired right now, which I don't understand. So, but I was going back to what I was saying. I was going to do a video today on TikTok, but I didn't have the time to. I'm going to be doing that in the future, regardless of what we do, other sports and stuff like that. But the Knicks don't seem inspired. And to me, that's a problem. If you're not inspired in game 77 of the year and you still have the same issues you've had from game 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, and now 77, that's a problem. And it falls on a lot of different people. I'm not putting the blame on one because it's not only on one guy here. It's on a lot of different guys in this group, and I think it's a problem. And it goes back to last year. I was not a guy that was in favor of Tibbs getting fired. I understood why they did it, but I didn't want it. Let's put it that way. You bring in a coach like Mike Brown. Why did the players want Mike Brown? Because they can do what they want. Then you fast forward to now when the team doesn't know how to react to getting punched in the mouth multiple nights in a row. Your coach, like Tibbs, would have got these guys right. He may not have been the nicest, the smoothest coach, but he knew how to coach this group of players. This group of players aren't a team that you roll the ball out there and just win. That's not how you win with this team. This team, when they're right, they're gritty, they're tough, and they know how to play basketball. They play within themselves. The Celtics, they can go out there. They have enormous talent. They can go out there. Yeah, they have great coaching. That's only the icing on the cake for them. They have enormous talent where they can just go out there and it doesn't matter. They have Tatum and Brown. They can win a game just because of that. The Knicks cannot do that. And now that you don't have a coach that has control, he doesn't have control. Mike Brown has no control of this team right now. He has no control of this team. And it's slowly been getting worse. And I've seen it. It's slowly been getting worse. But when you have you're winning games and all that good stuff, it's not going to come about. But when you lose the games, who are you pointing fingers at? Karl-Anthony Towns looks like he has no interest in playing for this team, and that's great. When you go into the playoffs in 2 weeks, and your second best player on paper has no interest. I mean, you're doing team huddles during a timeout, and he's sitting by himself on the bench when everyone else is in the huddle. What is that all about? I don't really understand what that's all about. Been complaining all year about his role, this, that. I can't do this. I can't do that. I understand guys have, I know he's been dealing with outside off the court issues, But when you're on the court, you can, and this isn't just now. This has been something that's going on for months. This team, it has been the same. It's been the same. The only difference that Mike Brown has done is he's basically said, you know what, you guys don't want to do it my way. You guys think that you can do it whatever you want to do, because they're doing it like that because Tibbs never let them do it their way. He wanted it his way, and they did it because they knew they were going to win games. Listen, people are going to throw the stat up, which I was going to talk about. Oh, they're the same record as what they had last year at this time. Yeah, but Jalen Brunson missed 17 games last year. Mitchell Robinson played literally 17 regular season games or 20 regular season games. He played most of his games in the postseason. Those are two guys that have literally played almost the entire year this year. They shouldn't have the same record as what they have right now. Also, what we've been talking about the entire summer when we learned Jason Tatum, past summer when Jason Tatum was hurt and Halliburton was hurt. What did we say? The Knicks were gifted the Eastern Conference on a silver platter. They didn't respond to that. Pistons were hungrier. They took it. Celtics were hungrier. They took it now. I know this is only the regular season, but does this look like a team that's going to go deep into the postseason? No way. They look like they're going down, and then they should be going up right now. It's bad. It's bad. And yeah, they'll probably win tonight and feel better about themselves of beating the Grizzlies. I don't even think Brunson's playing tonight. I think he's banged up too, and he doesn't want to admit it, which I understand that because they're playing. Yeah, he's not playing tonight. Alvarado's starting for him. But still, this is too much turmoil for a team that's literally going to be playing playoff basketball in 2 weeks. And these are things that should have been taken care of months ago. Mike Brown, nice guy, has no control of this team. Probably should be let go after the season, in my opinion. I don't think he has any control of this team. Karl-Anthony Towns, terrible. I didn't even talk about Mikal Bridges because I'm so fed up with him. 5 first-round picks for a guy that is literally the definition of a mid-basketball player. And we gave him an extension over the summer because he had 2 good moments. Okay, he had 2 good moments in a playoff game. What are you going to do the rest of the time? He's non-existent. I mean, he went, I think, 2 weeks in a row without even scoring double-digit points. A guy that should be scoring 15 to 18 every single night like it's nothing. That should be easy work for him, and he hasn't done a thing. It's getting to the point where it's frustrating because you know the result. Yeah, they're going to beat up on the bad teams. They're going to beat some of the good teams, but if they don't match up well, if it's a young team that can outrun them, the Hornets outran them. Yeah, CT, that was embarrassing against the Thunder. That was embarrassing against the Thunder, especially in the second half. Then you go out there yesterday against the Rockets, another pathetic performance. I mean, I was watching the Mets game, kind of tuning into the next game. Every time I tuned it on, it would just continue to get worse, I know Mitchell Robinson has talked about this. He said that the group is not connected, and he's been there the longest. Remember that. He has been there. He was there for the David Fizdale Knicks, so he knows how bad it can be, in terms of losing games. And this team isn't fully connected, and they're still winning games. And not now. They were on a 7-game winning streak because they played teams that weren't interested in even winning anymore. And then they go in there and they play good teams and they have no chance because they look terrible. And Cat is not being aggressive. And this is the problem. He's not being aggressive, but he's blaming the team and the coaching staff for him not being aggressive. You're the one that has control on the court. I mean, he's the one that told Mike Brown he doesn't like the way the offense looks and he wants to play his own way. Mike Brown said, you know what? Okay, play your own way and see what happens. I mean, something is not adding up with this team, and it's very, very frustrating. And it's just not. It's the chemistry just not 100% there. And then when you look at the 4 seed, the Cavs are only a game out for them. The Cavs are coming for them, and I wouldn't be shocked if the Knicks fall down to the 4 seed. They can't fall down any further than that, but I wouldn't be shocked. Would not be shocked if the Knicks fall down to the 4 seed. Then the 5 seed, the Hawks. Hawks have been excellent. They're a team to watch. I think they can actually give the Cavs, if the Cavs stay as a 4 seed, and they can give the Pistons, if they can get past the Cavs or whoever they play, a run for their money. And if they play the Knicks, I actually think they could beat the Knicks. The way the Knicks have been playing, I wouldn't be shocked they lose to them in the postseason. Then the Raptors are the 6 seed, who the Knicks would play right now, which I think the Knicks would be just fine against Toronto. And then we got the 76ers as a 7 seed. I think they're going to be bounced early. Magic is your 8 seed, Heat as your 9 seed, and Hornets as your 9 seed. But those from the 76ers down to the Hornets, the play-in teams, all about a game or a game and a half removed from each other. So they're not very far apart. And that's it, because then the Bucks are the next team, which they have no chance. So the play-in teams are locked in. Bucks, Bulls, Nets, Wizards, and Pacers to round it out. Those teams are all out. Those teams are all playing, for a draft position at this point. But yeah, the Knicks frustration. I know I haven't posted reels in a while, but I want to do that. I want to get some of those out there this week. I'm also going to be playing around with some more things on TikTok, posting on TikTok. I've learned some new tools and editing things that I want to, put into effect, which I will soon. I was going to do it before the show, but I saved it. I was like, you know what? I'll save it all for, when we get to the show, because it's more important when we get to that point. Then the NHL, we got Ovechkin hits his 20th season in his career where he has had 30-plus goals, which, he's played 20-something. I don't know the exact amount, but literally every year he has at least 30 goals. Shesterkin versus Markstrom's fight. Rangers goalie, obviously versus Devils goalie. That was electric. I saw the video of that. Very, very funny to see a goalie fight, especially for two teams that aren't going anywhere. What the hell? Just fight each other, I guess, at this point is funny, to watch, which is at this point in the year, hockey's almost over. I really haven't watched much Rangers, but I watched that. It was great to watch, when you get to that. And then Cale Makar out for a few games for a terrific Avalanche team. So the Avalanche, they're cruising right now. I think they're going to be just fine. But having a guy like that, if he's a little bit banged up, can't afford to lose him. So that's a smart move by the Avalanches. He's out for a few games. He's banged up. There's no need to risk it to get him hurt even more. Let me do the NHL standings, and then I will do the pick 'em. How you doing? I basically just did. Rangers, I just talked about being the fight. Knicks have been terrible. Mets, I don't know what the hell they're doing, sleepwalking through games. And then the Jets are the Jets. Aaron Glenn thinks Geno Smith's bringing them to the promised land, which I don't know what he's been drinking or smoking lately, but good for Aaron Glenn, I guess. But the standings for hockey, let's do the West first, where we got the Avalanche, who are 49, 14, and 10. We'll do just the playoffs now because we're almost – there's literally like between 10 and 8 games left for the 8 to 10 games left for these teams. Avalanche are up 8 points on the Stars, so they've created separation. It seems like they're going to clinch that division very soon. Stars are 44, 19, and 12 with 100 points. They do have 2 more games also than the Avalanche, so the Avalanche can probably clinch this division within the next few days, probably by the next time we do the standing. Here at the Wild at 41, 21, and 12 at 94 points. Then we have Pacific Division where we got the Anaheim Ducks 41, 28, and 5 with 87 points. Then we got the Edmonton Oilers 38, 28, and 9 with 85 points. That division's right there. And I said it. Me and Biggie have been saying this. We said that the Oilers have too much talent. They're going to turn it on at some point. They know when to turn it on. They're a postseason veteran team. They may not always, they may not always get to where they want to get to in terms of winning, but they know how to get to the playoffs, and that shows. Then we got the Vegas Golden Knights, 33, 26, and 16 with 82 points. Then it's move to the wild card where we got the Mammoth in the first wild card spot at 38, 30, and 6 with 82 points. So they're right there. And then we got the Nashville Predators in the second wild card spot, 34, 31, and 9 with 77 points. Then the Kings are 1 point out with 76 points. I kept talking about the Winnipeg Jets. They're goaltending. They're 1 point out as well. They have 76 points. Then the San Jose Sharks with games in hand. So they're the team to watch. And Biggie said that last week. They have 75 points. Kraken with 75 points as well. So all those teams are only 2 points or less. And even the Blues, 4 points out. You never know what can happen with that. So from the Blues up 4 points or less, but I would kind of cap it out at the Kraken. Those teams and up are very close in range, but it's very exciting to see what's going to happen with them. And then you got Calgary, Chicago, and Vancouver. And then the Eastern Conference where we got the Buffalo Sabres who've hit 100 points. Incredible for them. They're at 46, 21, and 8, which is good for 100 points. Then the Tampa Bay Lightning, 46, 22, and 6, but 98 points. Then we got the Montreal Canadiens, 43, 21, and 10, but 96 points. They're on a 6-game winning streak, so they're coming for Tampa. Then the Metro Division, Carolina, 47, 21, and 6 with 100, so they also have 100. Them and Buffalo are going for the number 1 seed there. Then we got the Penguins at 92 points. There's a little bit of a drop-off there, but they're going to be in. Then the Islanders are in that third playoff spot. They've been bouncing around, but they're in there at 89 points. And it shows how good the Atlantic Division is, that the Bruins are at 94 points, and they're in a wild card spot. If they were in the Metro, they would be in second place. Then the Columbus Blue Jackets at 88 points. They've lost 4 in a row. It's still in the playoffs. They haven't been playing good. They're hanging on. Ottawa, another team, they've lost 3 in a row. They got 86 points. Then the Red Wings have also lost 2 in a row. They have 86 points. So those Columbus, Ottawa, and Detroit, all the way within either in or almost in playoff position, all on losing streaks. Then the Flyers with 86 points as well, and the Capitals on a little bit of a heater with 85 points. So it's Columbus in the playoffs with 88, then Ottawa, Detroit and Philly with 86 points. And then we got Washington with 85. Then we got the Devils at 78 points, Maple Leafs at 77 points, Florida Panthers with 75 points, and the Rangers dead last in the conference at 71. But the Rangers have also been winning games, which is kind of, hurting their draft lottery chances, which it doesn't really matter, but still. I don't know why they decide to win games now, when it doesn't really matter too much anymore. Then let's wrap the show up here. I said it would be pretty quick just because there's not a ton going on in sports right now besides a few things. I'm at 35-27 in the picks. Biggie's at 31-31, so he's coming for me at this point. Just 4 games back because he got the win last week and I didn't in the Tigers versus Padres game. This week, we're going to pick the final 4. I know we have our brackets out there, but also these matchups are a little different than our brackets. Our teams are still alive, but that's a little different than what we're going to do here. So Biggie picked in the UConn versus Illinois game, he picked UConn to move on. And then in the Arizona versus Michigan game, Biggie picked Michigan. So I'm going to agree with him on the UConn thing. I think UConn is just a team of destiny. They're going to keep it going at least until the championship, which they may run into a team that's just much more talented than them. Nothing they can do about it. And then in the Arizona versus Michigan game, I'm going to go with the Wildcats. I think they are the most talented team in the nation. They can shoot threes. They can play defense. They can come from behind. They can just bury you if they have a lead. They can do whatever they need, and it works all the time for them. And I think the Wildcats win. So I'm going to go UConn, Arizona. Biggie's going to go UConn, Michigan. So we're going to have one difference in that. And next week, which we're going to do a little bit different in terms of the show. Next Monday, we're going to do, if Biggie's available as well, we can talk to him about that. We'll do a show where we just do the pregame of the national championship, which I think starts at like 8:50, 9 o'clock or whatever it is. We can do like an hour, 45 minutes long show. We can recap these other sports as well, like we usually do, but pregame the national championship. And then once the game starts, we can sign off. Then I was mentioning how my buddy Aiden, doing his mixed martial arts stuff. He's going to be in a fight within next couple of weeks in April, so we'll probably have him on. That'll probably be more of a pre-recorded thing, upload and put out there at some point when we get to it. I'm going to talk to him at the end of this week in terms of when we can schedule that for next week. A lot of good things happening. A big announcement also coming in terms of what we're going to be doing at the end of April. It's going to be something much different than what we've done before. So we're going to try. We're going to see how it goes. We're going to give it our best shot, but I think it's going to go really well. I think it's going to be really fun, and you guys will hear about that very shortly. It's going to be coming out within a few days. And then another announcement a little later down the road, which we'll hold on to as well. So we got a lot of good things coming up here. Baseball coming through, like I told you about the TikTok as well. So there's a lot of good things that are coming through here. And I just wanted to share that with you guys. And when the big announcements come out, you guys will be the first to know. But that's going to do it for episode 110. Thank you guys for coming in for a little bit of a shorter one. Usually we get closer to 2 hours. But like I said, there's just not a ton going on here for us to talk about. And there's no need to drag it out if we don't have to. But yeah, that's going to do it for episode 110. I want to thank you guys once again. See ya.